What is up, guys? Juggle Boy here, and today I'm going to be talking about the best ways to practice in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, just like in school how people learn differently, not all people improve using the same practice techniques in video games. So I'm going to be going over some various techniques that you should definitely at least try to improve your game, and you can apply the same techniques to most fighting games in general. The biggest mistake I think beginners make is playing the CPUs too much, especially the level 9s. Back when I was younger and playing Melee, when I was finally able to consistently beat a level 9, I added another level 1 CPU to their team and went up from there. While I thought I was getting better at the game, all I was doing was learning how to exploit the AI, which is the game's artificial intelligence for how the computer opponents are programmed, and while I got really good at beating computers, it didn't help playing against humans and arguably made me a worse player overall as I was developing some bad habits. Now, the computers in Smash Ultimate have improved significantly from Melee, and while they do seem to play a bit more human-like, they're also able to do things that humans just can't. For example, computers can react and dodge moves the frame after the move comes out. Humans can only react in something like 15 to 20 frames, so you're getting unrealistic gameplay that you would never encounter. A big way to exploit the CPU in Smash 4 was with frame trapping. Now, this video shows you a good example of this. The Roy down throws and throws out an F-tilt against the Bowser. From the computer's point of view, it has two options. You can get hit by the F-tilt, or air dodge and avoid it. It was programmed that not getting hit is preferable to getting hit, so it air dodges. Unfortunately for the computer, the air dodge puts you in lag, which allows for a re-grab, and you can repeat the process over and over. Most humans would realize what's happening in about 2 sequences of this, and then just get hit by the forward tilt and end the process. But Smash CPUs aren't programmed to think ahead like a human does, so beating the hardest difficulty of a computer doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to beat a real player. So does that mean CPUs are useless for getting better? No, not at all. If you don't have any friends to play against locally, you can use the CPUs to help work on the timings for your combos, as they will try and DI and avoid them so you can help develop muscle memory for a lot of your combos. So while they may not be perfect at escaping the combos, if you're able to consistently link a few moves together against a level 9, then it's probably a solid enough combo to use against real-life opponents. But if you want to play against a computer just to get some practice for how playing a game in a tournament-like setting feels, I would recommend playing against a level 5, 6, or 7 CPU. A CPU around this level essentially plays a lot more like a bad human player does, so while you might absolutely destroy them, you're at least getting practice that's a little more realistic to a human, and you won't need to resort to exploiting the AI to pull off wins. Now, obviously there's online play as well. A lot of players complain that they have super laggy games, and if this is the case, the problem is probably with your internet, not your opponent's, especially if it's consistently bad. So if you're having this problem but still want to play online, I definitely recommend picking up a USB to Ethernet adapter, and plugging an Ethernet cable in should drastically improve your online experience. An Amazon link to getting one of those is in the description. Now, consistently playing with a lot of lag will develop bad habits and cause you to go for more laggy moves, which would normally get punished if you were playing someone in real life. If you're going to be going in quick play, make sure to use the standard 3-stock, 7-minute, items off, battlefield stages rule set. This is the standard rule set that most tournament players are using, so you'll be much more likely to get paired up against someone who is more serious about the game, meaning they're likely to have better internet and also looking to improve. Now, you have the option between quick play and battle arenas. Now, let's talk more about quick play. I'm obviously not going to be going too in-depth on GSP since I talked about that in a previous video. You can click the top right corner to see that, but basically, GSP shouldn't define you as a player. Don't let your GSP get in your head, and if you lose to a player, try to rematch them and fix what you did wrong instead of leaving and hoping to find a player you can beat. Now, for the battle arenas, I haven't played too many of them outside of playing with just my friends online, but I have seen a lot of good things about them. You'll find more players who are looking to improve without having the added pressure of improving your GSP while you're playing. So for a lot of you guys, this might be a better route. One great thing I suggest, though, is to watch your replays. After a game, if you press Y, you're given the option to save your replay. Now, you don't need to save the games which you absolutely destroy your opponent. Instead, save the replays from when you lose. They can be tough to watch, especially after a bad loss, but a lot of times in the heat of the moment, you don't realize how many mistakes you're making, and watching these replays a few times over can show that. You might be using the same ledge get-up option 5 times in a row and your opponent caught on to that, and you could just be spamming the same moves over and over without realizing it. You can also look at what your opponent did wrong and how you failed to capitalize on their mistakes. While online play might not be a complete representation of how the game is played locally, you can still use it to improve as a player if you're focusing on getting better and learning from your losses rather than just racking up as many wins as possible. I also recommend trying something called Anthers Ladder, which was made by Smash player Anther. Now, this site allows you to matchmake with people who are serious about the game, and you can find players that live very close to you rather than on the other side of the world, which should lead to less laggy matches. Now, the site was pretty popular in Smash 4's early days, but it seemed to get less popular as time went on. However, the more people that use it, the better it becomes, so I definitely recommend at least checking it out. Link to that, again, is in the description. So now for local play with your friends. You want to try to play other players around your skill level, ideally someone a little bit better than you. This should cause the most improvement as you'll be forced to try your hardest to pull off a win and not just start playing on autopilot. And talking about the games afterwards is also really helpful. Doesn't need to be super in-depth, but just simple things like, hey, you're get-up attacking from the ledge a lot, or you're always rolling to the left when I have my invincibility from when I lose a stock. Statements like that can go a long way in noticing and preventing bad habits in the future. And playing best of 5s with tournament rules in between friendly games can also help out a ton to help you get some tournament practice. Now, if you ever go to a tournament, make sure to not go in with too high of expectations. Half of people who enter a tournament end up going 0-2 or 1-2, so don't freak out if you lose. Instead, ask other players who are eliminated if they want to play friendlies. Now, this is, of course, if the tournament has dedicated friendly setups or the tournament organizer states that you can play them. Obviously, don't interfere with setups that are still being used for the tournament. Now, playing these friendlies is some of the best practice that you can get. When playing in a tournament, you might only get to play 5 or so games if you go 0-2, but playing friendlies afterwards lets you get in much more games against other good players. So what I'm saying is, if you get eliminated early on, don't get frustrated and leave, just play a few games and have some fun. So thank you guys for watching. This video ended up being a bit longer than I expected, but I guess I had a lot to say about the topic. Best of luck in improving in Smash. If you guys found this helpful, please leave a like, and if you want to see more Smash content, subscribe to stay tuned for future videos. If you have any ideas for future vids, please let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Peace.